What's up everybody here at TGN? I'm Hitmanblood. In today's video I'm just going to be going over some general hunter tips, a little beast mastery guide on PvP talents and gems and what kind of pets you can expect. I get the question asked a lot, what pet should I use, and I'm going to go over that really quick. First off, let's go over the spec. Generally, you're going to want to use the 3173 spec. This is more of a pet offensive burst spec. There is a control beast mastery spec. I'm going to go over that later on in the video. But first, let's talk about what I'm doing right now. A couple mandatory talents you're going to want to get is Improved Kill Command. Increases the critical strike of your kill command by 10%. Kill Command is your second most damaging ability that you're going to be using while you're PvPing. So this talent is pretty much mandatory. One with Nature, 3 out of 3. In 4.0.6, Blizzard increased the attack power bonus of Aspect of the Hawk by around 2,000. This is great, especially for Beast Mastery Hunters. Why? Because if you go to View Summaries and you look at our Animal Handler, this is a passive 25% attack power increase that all Beast Mastery Hunters get. This is only applied to the Beast Mastery spec. This is why we're so great for burst and offensive styles, and this is why I choose it for overall Battlegrounds. Beast Mastery is great for arenas also, 3v3, and 2v2 I'd probably go for something like Marksman or Survival, but other than that, Beast Mastery is the way to go for overall Battleground experience. Spirit Bond is pretty self-explanatory. It's just some extra heals for you and your pet. I'm going to go over why it's also a greater bonus if you're using a certain pet. Also, Frenzy. Frenzy, your pet gains 6% attack speed whenever it attacks with a basic attack. So once it hits around 5 stacks, you can pop it and use Focus Fire. Focus Fire is just some extra haste for you, so you can get those shot offs faster with Cobra Shot and Steady Shot. Fervor, this is an underrated ability. People don't really use it as much. It's a great in combination with Bestial Wrath. So once you're low on focus, you're in Bestial Wrath phase, just pop this. You can get some extra arcane shots in there just for that little bit of PvP bonus. So I really suggest that you use this more. I mean, it's a mandatory talent because you're going on to Bestial Wrath. Cobra Strikes, just more talents for your pet. I would avoid Killing Streak. Basically, the only talents you do not want to get in this tree are Killing Streak and Pathfinding. Pathfinding is more of a gathering ability if you just want to mount up a little faster. You know, it has no benefit to PvP. You're not going to be fighting an aspect of the cheetah because there's really no use for that. If you are fighting an aspect of the cheetah, you're just going to get dazed. I hope Blizzard removes that daze because that, I guess it would be a little overpowered, but I don't know. Maybe they have plans for that. But Killing Streak, this is more of a PvE talent. This has nothing to do with PvP. Other than that, you're not going to want to use Killing Streak. Longevity. This is a great talent. This reduces the cooldowns of your main key abilities that define you as a Beast Mastery Hunter, Bestial Wrath, and your Stun Intimidation. Both great abilities when used together. It's something that you should really use. It also reduces your pet's abilities, like their stuns and all that, so this is a must 3 out of 3. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera. This is a great ability because it reduces the cooldown of your Disengage. So, Disengage base cooldown is 25 seconds, reduced to 20 with the Glyph. So, getting hit is going to be something you're going to try to avoid, but this does compensate a little bit, so it allows you to use Disengage that much sooner. Also, if you're getting pummeled by a ranged type class like a mage or another hunter, your deterrence is reduced by 8 seconds. So this also helps if you're facing ranged classes, so it's not just a melee only talent. Bread and Butter Bestial Wrath. Bestial Wrath is an awesome ability. It's basically a second trinket now in Cataclysm. They changed it up in Cata to make it a non-immunity. Now there's no crit immunity, so it's just a trinket. It used to be 18 seconds. There's been a whole bunch of nerfs to it because of PvP imbalances. But other than that, it's a great burst ability. But the key thing is, the Beast Within, the same applies to you, but you only do an additional 10% damage. This used to be 50% back in Wrath, but now since it's 10%, it's not as much as a damage increase. But the focus cost reduced by 50% is great for your Arcane Shot spam. You're going to want to spam Arcane Shot and Kill Command as much as possible whenever you're under the effects of Bestial Wrath. This also can be used as a debuff ability because you can also spam Trank Shot and get all their buffs off pretty quickly. Kindred Spirits, pretty self-explanatory. 10 extra focus for you and your pet. This is great. This allows you to have some more uptime, and it's pretty much something you're going to want to take at all. And Beast Mastery. This is a talent that doesn't have that much effect. What it does is it just gives your pet 4 extra skill points for putting more points in its talents. And it also lets you tame exotic beasts like rhinos, worms, and spirit beasts. So that's a good talent to get. Now this is where you need to decide. Are you going to want to be more of a bursty spec, or you want to be a control spec? You can either go 7 and 3 in marksman, or 7 survival 3 marksman. So you're gonna need to choose. Like I said, burst or control. I just chose the burst because I mostly do battlegrounds. I'm not into arenas as I used to be. But go for the throat. These 2 talents with Sikkim are just basically pet uptime talents. Just have your pet have that much more focus so you can use its damaging abilities. Efficiency, you're going to want to take this as any spec. This reduces the focus cost of your main hitting abilities. Arcane Shot, Explosive Shot, and Chimera Shot. The only shot that applies to us is Arcane Shot, so efficiency is great for Beast Mastery Hunters, and it lets you just spam it that much more. Alright, careful aim. I would not suggest this for PvP. There are people that like to remove Sikkim. Rapid killing, avoid it like the plague. It's not a good talent. It's not worth that 10%, 20% initial additional damage when it's 2 talents. It's just not worth it. You don't need to get rapid killing. It is a PvP talent, but there's much more things that you could apply. Sikkim overall was a greater DPS talent than rapid killing is going to be. Now, here into the survival tree, you can choose between pathing for the extra range haste and Hunter vs. Wild. I chose Hunter vs. Wild for the extra stamina. It allows me to stay alive that much longer. 15% stamina, that's huge if you're talking about 100k health. You know, it's a nice bonus. So it used to be 10. They increased it by extra 5% in 4.0.6 patch. So this is great. If you're wanting that just extra burst, I would take points into pathing. But this is also where I was explaining. If you want to be a control class, remove all the points in the marksman tree. Keep Beast Mastery as it is, but get the 3 in Hunter vs. Wild, get that 1 in Pathing, go into Entrapment for the stun that they get, or snare they get when they get hit by a trap, and Survival Tactics. This is more of a control and survival spec, like survival is called. So these are some of the talents that Beast Mastery uses, and now I'm going to go over some of the glyphs that you should be using as a Beast Mastery Hunter. Alright, now to talk about the glyphs. First off, we're going to talk about prime glyphs. The first prime glyph we're going to be getting is Glyph of Arcane Shot. This is a mandatory talent. There's no reason you should not get this prime glyph. Arcane Shot is your maximum damaging ability. This is what you're going to be using the most. So an extra 12% damage to it, on top of the 10 you get from Beast of Wrath, it's going to be hitting pretty hard, even if they have resilience. So you're going to be hitting 10, 12 Arcane Shots in succession. It's going to do a lot of damage. This glyph is great for burst. Glyph of Serpent Sting, there are other choices. You could take Rapid Fire or Glyph of Kill Command. I choose Serpent Sting just because I like that extra 6% critical chance. You know, Serpent Sting doesn't get dispelled as much in Battlegrounds, but for Arena, if you're going to do any Arena, I would switch to Kill Command just because in Arena, the debuffs are not going to stay at all on them. This is a problem that Survival's having with Black Arrow. People are asking Blizzard to make it non-dispellable since it does negligible damage anyway. So, Kill Command, good glyphs to switch out with Serpent Sting. Next off, we're going to talk about Kill Shot. Okay, the problem with Kill Shot going on right now is that it's pretty buggy. The situation is that Kill Shot is bugging out if the target is under 20% health and it goes back over 21%. So let's say you're fighting somebody, Kill Shot procs, you get him down to 15%. He gets a heal, he's back over 20%. That second Kill Shot is not going to proc. This is a known bug. I haven't been experienced this as much, you know. If it's not as situational as in Battlegrounds, because in Battlegrounds they're not going to be getting much heals that gets them back over 20% in time for that second spammed Kill Shot. In Arenas though, this is not going to work out for you. You can get the Glyph of Rapid Fire, increases the haste by Rapid Fire by an additional 10%. This is something that you can use in situations outside of Kill Shot. Now we're going to talk about your major glyphs. These are, in my opinion, some of the mandatory talents and what major PvPers are using right nowadays. Glyph of Master Skull. This is a no-brainer. If you're not using this, you are not PvPing effectively. What Master Skull does is it gives you immunity to all movement impairing effects, slows, snares, all that stuff for 4 seconds. I know the tooltips says 8 seconds, but why is that? Because the glyph increases it by another 4 seconds. This effectively doubles the duration. This is a great talent. Master's Call used to be a 1-minute cooldown, and now it's 45 seconds and it's 40 yards. This is great. It used to be only 20 yards. That used to suck. Your pet used to never be in range. The only problem with this is now it's spell stealable and it can be dispelled. So this is not good. I overall would have liked the previous Master's Call at 1 minute with the 40-yard range bonus would have been nice. But being able to be spell stolen, if you're facing any competent comp, they'll pay attention to it. Right now, Master's Call is a sort of Hand of Freedom like image. If you look at it, it has the same animation as Hand of Freedom. If you check my channel out, you will see that they changed Master's Call to a different image. It looks more like, it's not as noticeable as it used to be. Now they actually have to pay attention to your buffs. This is a PvP buff they're doing to us. They're just changing the animation so it's less noticeable and they won't know if you're using it. In my opinion, they should just make it so they can't spell steal it. But other than that, mandatory glyph. Glyph of Disengage. 5 seconds cooldown on your disengage. This is great. If you're getting trained, you have to practice in the forward disengage, all that stuff. It's just turning your camera using disengage, and it's the reduced cooldown is something that you're gonna wish you always had. So I highly suggest you get that glyph if you're getting trained in battlegrounds. It's a situation that 5 seconds can mean life or death. All right. Next, we're going to talk about Glyph of Bestial Wrath. This reduces the cooldown of your main ability down to 1.17 minute cooldown. This is basically a minute and 17 seconds. Awesome glyph. You basically have a trinket on a 1 minute and 17 second cooldown. So you have your basic glyph that or 2 minute cooldown trinket, and you also have your 1 minute cooldown trinket. So you have two trinkets to pop. This is great. This glyph just allows you to use this that much sooner, and it should be taken. For PvP minor glyphs, there's a lot of choices. Feign Death, that's a good one. That's one you're going to want to take because the other ones don't really have any applications. Scare Beast, this reduces the pushback when you're using this on feral druids or other hunter pets. This is great if you're facing a feral druid or you're catching that wrestler druid, switching into bear form, travel form, whatever. This can give you that extra couple seconds. Scare Beast is a great ability. I don't see hunters use it as much, but yeah, you should try to use it some more. Glyph of Menpet, this is it's not going to be applied anymore in 4.1 as they're reducing happiness, so I want to see what is going to be the next glyph. I hear they're giving us a glyph of greater proportion. Some people are saying it's lesser proportion, we'll see what they give us. If we don't really get a nice minor glyph, just switch to revive pet. Other than that, there's nothing really important from glyphs. That's about it. Now I'm going to go over macros. Some of the macros I'm going to want to talk about are my F-off scatter shot macro. What this does is it automatically targets your nearest target and it fires off a scatter shot. This is great. You see my mouse was over here, but the macro targeted the nearest target and did a scatter shot. What this applies to is if you're facing a rogue or another feral druid or any stealth like class, they won't get the jump on you if you're using this. There are times when they're walking past you and only for a split second they're visible, then you don't catch them. If you're using this macro, this is a great way to get them in the scatter shot. Force a trinket on them is something I would use if you're planning on PvPing. This is my Hawk cast week sequence macro with Aspect of the Fox. What this does is it allows me to switch from Hawk to Fox without clicking him. This is great. I have this keybound, so if you're firing off a Cobra shot, then you want to switch to Hawk for that nice bonus for the Arcane shot. It's a nice ability to use, and so this macro is essential if you're going to be doing battlegrounds or arenas, and it's much easier than going down here and clicking between Aspect of the Hawk and Fox. So yeah, another macro is a Roar of Sacrifice macro. This just uses Roar of Sacrifice on yourself. There are mouse over macros. for using it on your friends. So yeah. Also, this is another scattershot macro. This is something else I use. What this does is, let's say you have deterrence and you pop this macro. What this will do is it will cancel your deterrence, so you're able to get that scattershot off. There's been so many times where I've popped deterrence and I ended up not being able to get it off just because deterrence was up. You know, this has happened a lot. I've seen hunters scrambling, trying to go up here, right click it off. Deterrence doesn't last that long. It does last 5 seconds, but going up there and trying to right click it when you have all these procs going off, all these buffs and stuff, it's not realistic. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have the time to go up here and right click it off. Okay, next we're going to talk about my trap launcher macro. What this does is it macros freezing trap into trap launcher. This is for scatter trapping. A lot of people don't know about this, so what you do is you just click this twice and bam, there you go. You see, all I did was have to click this macro. I have it keybound, but this is great to just put it somewhere on your bars and use this. You won't have to go all the way down to this trap launcher, then scramble on your action bars looking for explosive trap, frost trap, or whatever you guys are looking for. So this is a nice trap launcher macro. You can switch out freezing trap or for anything else like explosive trap or snake trap or whatever you would like to use. Wing clip, this is just a wing clip stop attack macro. It has certain applications, it's not that important. Other than that, this is my disengage wing clip macro. This is something I like using a lot. As you'll see, pay attention. Look at his bar right here. I'm attacking right now, right? I disengage and he dodged. Okay, that's not working. Okay. You would disengage and wing clip would apply. What wing clip does is it slows their movement speed, so using this in turn with disengage is really helpful. You can disengage, get the wing clip off, so he's slowed at the same time you're traveling away from him. I have a use 15 macro. You can take that out if you're not using engineer or you don't have anything, any proc to your cloak. But what this does is just uses my parachute. I'll show this one more time. You hit him, you're in combat, you disengage, wing clip is on them. This is a nice macro, so I really suggest you macro wing clip to disengage. There's really no reason. Wing clip doesn't cost any focus, so it's nice to macro in. Next, I'm going to talk about my Feign Death stop casting macro. I know there's been times where, oh, you're spamming Cobra Shot, you're trying to stop the attack, alright? What you're saying, oh, you could just sidestep, right? Interrupted. No, what about if you're in Fox and you're getting that cast off and you see a lava burst coming at you? What are you gonna? You're gonna run frantically with Cobra Shot. What you're gonna do is if you pay attention, I'm gonna spam my Feign Death macro right here. I'm casting. I Feign Death. The cast is automatically canceled. This is great for canceling your Cobra Shot, aim shot, steady shot, and interrupting their cast because they lose their target. This is something you should be using, and I hope you take this as a good suggestion. Also, flare. This is just a flare macro where basically you can click this as much times as you want. You'll never lose the circle. Normally when you click flare, the circle goes away every time you click it. It cancels and reactivates the ability. You can use this as any class. You can use this as a mage, whatever. Apply it to Blizzard so that Rectile never goes away. It allows you to apply flare and the circle doesn't go away. This is my kill shot macro. What this does is it cancels the turns and hand of protection. So, like I said, there's times when you're popping the turns, but here I cancel it with my kill shot macro. There's been times where I see somebody about to die and I can't get that kill shot off because of the turns. This solves the problem. It allows you to get the kill shot off. This is something, no matter what, you should have applied to kill shot. The only time you're going to fire kill shot off is when you want to get it off. So if you're dying, you're not going to be firing kill shot if you have the turns up. So unless the target is dying, then you should be using kill shots. Alright. Use 6, that's just using your belt. Use 15, that uses my parachute. I have that macro to my disengage so yeah, that just lets you use your parachute. Use 13 uses your first trinket. Those are some of the macros that I'm using. Real quick, I'm going to go over some of the pets. Alright, a first PvP pet that I recommend for any spec, it not just applies to Beast Mastery hunters, is the Spider. This is a pet that I used for PvP back in Wrath of the Lich King. I still use it to this day. I haven't used it much as Beast Mastery. Uh, the main thing that makes spiders so important is their web ability. This is a 5-second route. It can be used from range, and there you see it just webbed that target. This is a 30-yard range ability, so this is a nice 5-second route. They can't move. They can still cast. It's not a stun. But other than that, it's a cunning pet. It's designed for PvP with its boar speed, dash, owl focus, and last but not least, Roar of Sacrifice. Roar of Sacrifice is essentially a 12-second crit shield. If they're not critting on you, they're not doing damage at all, technically. Because nowadays, with all the resilience we're wearing, if you're not critting, you're not doing damage. Roar of Recovery is also nice, and that what makes a spider one of the suggested pets, in my opinion. Another pet is the crab. The crab is a tenacity pet. This is a great pet because of its pin ability. This is melee range, and it's only 4 seconds. I believe this is a controlled route, and I'm not sure if they can blink out of this one, but this is a melee range 4-second route. But what makes this pet awesome is its tenacity talents. Charge is a 1-second immobilizing ability. It has intercept, which is great. Intervene. Same thing. It charges towards you. You can use it on a friendly. You can use it on your arena partner, yourself. I have a macro for this. It allows intervene to use on myself. It can absorb a kidney shot. A lot of hunters don't use this as much. You can essentially absorb the cheap shot and or kidney shot. Rare Sacrifice also applies to it since it's tenacity, and it's a great pet to use. Last Stand, if your pet's dying, you know, that's one of my recommended pets. Next off, we're going to talk about the Shell Spider. Shell Spider, awesome pet. Why? Because it has a ranged 3-second stun. This is my version of the short hammer of justice. So it's a ranged hammer of justice that is on a 31-second cooldown. It does suffer from diminishing return, so you can't use it with intimidation. You could, but the duration would be reduced. Also, this is what makes the pet so great. You have your Mark of the Wild and Kings built into it. It gives your main stats increased by 5%, and it increases your magical resistances by 97%. This is a good battleground pet, dual pet, whatever you would like to use it for. Alright, now let's talk about my Spirit Beast, Balls. Balls is basically the Spirit Crab Ghost Crawler. You can get this from the Shimmering Depths in Vashir. What this pet is, it's a ferocity pet. It doesn't have much PvP talents, but what makes it so good is the Spirit Mend ability. What this does is it puts a heal on you or your target, and it heals for around 20 to 25,000 health depending on talents and bonuses. So this is a 28-second cooldown and lasts for 10 seconds. This is insane. So if you're looking at my bar right now, it just got hit for about 4,000. This does hit for around 8,000 when it does crit. But as you see, every couple seconds it's hitting for 2,500 health. This is a nice emergency heal. What people don't know is you can stack Spirit Beasts, and you can essentially have 3, 2, 5 Spirit Beasts, whatever you want to use, and dismiss your current pet, summon the next one, and cast another Spirit Men on you. This is nice for pocket heals, getting that second heal on you. And last but not least, there are a couple pets I'm probably missing. I do use another couple pets, but for the purpose of this video, it's pretty long. I'm just going to talk about my next favorite pet. This is my pet Knockback. What makes this pet so awesome is not because of its intervene or all that tenacity talents, it's its horn toss. This is a knockback ability. I use it a lot in the Arathi Basin, Eye of the Storm, and all those battlegrounds with high cliffs and stuff. You can just summon this pet, and you could be dying. The person has the upper hand. This pet will knock them off the cliff, and it's just funny watching them fall to their death. It doesn't matter if they are at full health or not. They're going to die. So this is it's nice to use. I've seen hunters use this on me, but since I have a parachute, it doesn't really affect me, but yeah. Also, guys, if you're watching this video, you're probably noticing that I'm pretty new here. I only have 1 or 2 videos on this channel, and I have a couple on TGN Idol, but, you know, this is me. Some people are saying, oh, who's this kid with that voice, you know, he makes my ears bleed. You know, I get that often. But, I'm just this is all me. This is how I am. I'm not saying I'm a professional. I'm not saying I'm the best hunter in the world. I'm nowhere near the best. I'm just some hunter who tries his best, to explain the facts. People get things wrong. If you see anything wrong with this video, let me know in the comments below. If I said something incorrect or inaccurate, just tell me. I'm one of those YouTubers who listens to every suggestion, all the constructive criticism. Uh, I want to be a part of my viewers. Some people don't get into that. They just do it for the money or the views or the subscribers. They want to boast how much more they have. If you check my channel out, you'll see that I'm one of those people who they just listen to the subscribers, reply to every comment I get. If you're asking a question in the comments, I'm gonna reply to it. I'm gonna make sure you get the correct answer. I don't make the same mistake twice. So if you see me doing something and you tell me what I did wrong, and I see that you're giving me a good suggestion, I'm gonna take that to the heart, and change what I do. But I do battlegrounds, I do arenas, I do all that kind of stuff. I'm not just PvP. I also do a lot of PvE stuff, raids and stuff, things. So I'll post out a rotation guide, a battleground guide, whatever you guys want to see. TGN is an experience where I hope to improve on my director skills and just allow viewers like you to have a say. Just ask me what you want to see, and I'll post it. Anyways, that's enough talking from me. You've probably been watching this video for a while, so this is Hitmanblood with TGN, and till next time.